Okay, I think I found one of the best housing market chart that shows really good overview of what's really going on. And I'm going to share this with you today. Hey, this is Shawn, the realtor guy from Portland, Oregon. Thanks for coming back to my podcast. And here's the graph. The top part is the blue line is the US existing home sales median price year over year percentage change. So what that means is like every year how much it went up. So for example, on the right, the vertical x is the axis. Yeah, it says 0%, negative 20%. And positive 25%, it shows as much as that. So you can see in 2000, let's say about 2021, it appreciated about 25% 1 year. The worst time was about 2008. That was about negative 18%. Obviously different areas have different appreciating. Some neighborhoods, I believe, appreciate in 2021 about 60%. And in 2008, some areas that I know, like in Happy Valley, Oregon, I remember it was somewhere close to 40 to 45%. But this is national average, so keep that in mind. At the bottom, still sort of like a yellow-orange color line here is the National Association of Realtors existing home sales median price, not seasonally adjusted. And you can see from about 2000 and year 2024. So it gives you a really good overview, in my opinion. And you can see what it did in the market crash between 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and what it did in 2020, 2021, right there. And then, whatever market crash people believe in 2023 and 4 right there. And when you zoom out like this, the first thing that you should know is that it's just market is doing what it does. And does this look like a market crashing here to you? And in fact, when you zoom out like 25 years, does 2008 market crash looks that bad to you? I'm not being sarcastic, but for the people who actually lost homes, this is, I mean, I don't want to aggravate you in any way, but I'm just looking at it as a zoom out real estate approach. And that's the only way that you could have some sanity in this, world. When you zoom out, there's no like sky falling. There's no market crashing. And in fact, if you bought it in 2007 at the peak, let's say, you kept that property, you probably doubled your property value by now. And some may on X argue, yeah, but you lost your opportunity cost by if you invested in S&P 500, you would have gained like 500% or whatever that number. So, but there are people like that. But what I find is that those people really don't own homes. They don't really invest a lot in stock either. And so it's just, you have to really be careful who you listen to. That's one of my motto, actually, personal motto. So the best way to look at what's really going on is always zoom out, always look at the source, always look at the data like this. That's why I got kind of excited when I saw this chart. And this one is the Bloomberg Finance put this together. The bottom one is obviously from the National Association of Realtors. And the top one, I think they may have just aggregated from different sources. But putting together like this in one chart, I haven't seen anything like this before. So I got pretty excited. But let me go ahead and point out a couple other things that I noted from looking at this chart. So let's look at 2021. So that 1 year when everybody needed home office, nobody's going into the office, downtown closed down, everybody wanted bigger homes. Interest rate was like 2.8%. Everybody wanted to buy. And that's what happened right there in 2021, 25%. That's very conservative number. In Portland, Oregon, I believe it was close to about 40 Some areas maybe 50%. The ones that gets most appreciation are the most desired ones, obviously. In Portland, Oregon, those are single level, anywhere between about 1,500 to about 2,500. 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, or four bedroom or three baths. Those are one of the most desired homes. And if they're in a sort of like desired school district, the prices goes up. Those probably, some of them that I saw got 20, 30 offers, and it went over whatever the number. And those homeowners double their value if they bought it in, let's say, 2017. So in 4 years, some of those lucky owners, they double their home value. Now, the worst part in the last about 5 years was, when was this? I'm going to guess in 2022 and 2023, when the interest rate doubled. And that's when we saw about negative 3%, countrywide depreciation. And right now, in 2025, April, it says 2.7%. I believe this is data that actually NAR put together too. 2.7% year over year by March of 2025 was negative 2.7%, which I actually posted from the NAR this morning. And one other thing I want to make a note here is that, let's see, kind of forgetting here. Oh yeah, the seasonality. So this like a saw looking right there, going up and down, up and down, up and down. So that's we call the real estate seasonality. So during the summertime it goes up, during the winter time it goes down. Summer, winter, that's what it means. And then probably the biggest one was probably the 2021 summer, and then 2020, that's a winter, that had the most gap right there. And then the other thing to note here is that between 2000 and 2005, the seasonality gap wasn't as dramatic, but now it's getting more dramatic, and that's part due to the same ratio. It could be the same ratio, but the price is bigger. So price gap is it appears that it's bigger, but the ratio is not going to be that much different. Obviously, the last 5 years there's bigger gaps, but if you look at it from like 2010 and 2020, that is pretty accurate. But overall, just gradually going up. That's what real estate does. And right now, the demand is still out there because of the lock-in effect. As you know, there aren't that many homes. So that's one of the major problems. A few other things. Between 2000 and 2005, homes were appreciating 5 to about 15%, as high as about 20%. So before the market crash of 2007, the peak was about plus 16% year over year. So when you see like multiple years of double-digit appreciation, that's when you have to be careful, because right after that, it basically crashed. And let's see what we did in the last about 5 years. We had a big jump, right? So that one was 25%. That one's about 15%. So we had about 3 years of a big jump, because in 2019 it was single-digit appreciation. Let's look at actually double digit one more time. That was between about 2012. There was about 14% double digit appreciation, but then it went down to single digit right there and just kind of continued about 5, 6, 7% or 4%. And then in 2019 jumped, 2020 jumped, 2021 jumped. And then 2022, still double digit at about 15%, but it went down really big. To me, that drop is very similar to 2006, 7, 8 drop. Do you see how much it dropped? It's almost identical length from above, let's see, 15% to above. That's about 20% drop in 1 year. And that's pretty much what it was. And then so now, to me, looking at just the blue line, it looks like we already had a market crash. That, negative 20%, right? And they were kind of doing what annually doing, 5% plus minus, 5% up and down, 5% up and down. So that's what it's doing. So just looking at this chart, I might say that we're somewhere here, maybe somewhere here, waiting for another jump. But yeah, that's how I see it. When you zoom out, you always have to draw this one straight line. When you draw a straight line just like that on the orange line, you can kind of see who pay more, who paid less. So for example, you draw just like that in 2010, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, they pay way less than where it should have been. And then if you come up here in 2020, 21, 22, people pay a lot more. But again, if you own that for 3, 5, 7 years, it doesn't make a huge difference. And so I know a lot of the home buyers are waiting for the market to crash. There's a bunch of influencers saying market is crashing. The only market that I see actually crashing, not like 20%, but more likely 10% year over year, are like areas, like Florida, Texas, where the homeowners insurance is skyrocketing and the property taxes are going up. And then the other ones are the small cities with less diversified industries, for example, like small college towns and things like that. Those are the cities that are having the potentially low double-digit depreciation. Every other place is having appreciating market. So before I repeat anything that I've been saying all the time, I just wanted to share this with you. And whenever I see this, I'll post it on my X account. So go ahead and follow me, Shawn the Realtor guy. I think my handle is at Shawn Realty. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that like button and subscribe so more home buyers can see this kind of data, rather than listening to, sky is falling, market is crashing, that type of videos, which is not really healthy. And it doesn't really reflect it's not beneficial, let me put it that way. So thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next video.